For So it was about 3 years ago, or maybe even four. I was always an introvert back early in my career, and it's something that I had younger, going through my entire childhood. So I was a middle child growing up, and short, chubby, and I was always made fun of. And so I was never really the one to get out and expose myself and really be the leader or mentor of others, because I didn't see myself as that. So it wasn't until I was about, I would say 22, so real early in my career when I graduated college, I really started to see others branch out and shine, and it was clear to me that in order for me to do something as such, that I had to start getting uncomfortable. So it was my freshman year, maybe my sophomore year of college, when I started to become part of these groups, and I started to see the power of getting uncomfortable. And going from an introvert to an extrovert was extremely uncomfortable. And even to this day, I still sense signs of me that are an introvert. But it's something that I continue to overcome. And the way that I do that is being around others and making sure that I'm dedicating my time to organizations and nonprofits, and just continue to pour back into myself, whether it's through conferences, leadership events, or just picking up a book. I mean, there's so much power in picking up a book and learning from others and what it takes to get uncomfortable, become more of an extrovert, because I think that every one of us have some level of being an introvert inside of us that is a challenge for us to overcome every single day. So here I am now, I'm 34 years old. I've got a company that's taken off to almost $30 million a year. One of owners of 3 or 4 different companies now. Can't tell you how many bank accounts we have, and that all started with me accepting the fact that I had to become more of an extrovert and just get uncomfortable. And even to this day, it's really overwhelming sometimes, and hard to believe how far I've come just in the past 10 years of really starting as an introvert, but ultimately becoming more of an extrovert. So if you're watching this video, I can't tell you how much your life will double or triple in the blessings once you start to get outside of your comfort zone and become more of an extrovert into your career and life. So the question got asked to me recently, and the question was, do you have to be an extrovert or an introvert in order to be successful? So what does it take to be successful? And so I'm going to say it's a mixture of both. I think in my life or my career, I've had a good mix of being an introvert but also an extrovert. I think there's a balance between the two. I think you can be too much of an introvert. You can be too much of a closed shell turtle is what I'll say. You don't want to get out of the shell. You don't want to get uncomfortable. But then you can be too much of an extrovert where you're really too much out there. You're in front of somebody's face a little bit too much. So I think within every industry, you have to balance of what that, I would say, the equilibrium is on both an introvert and an extrovert. An example, in my career, I'm a construction manager. I'm a business owner of 3 or 4 different businesses, and I've had to balance within every industry of how much of an introvert do I need to be and how much of an extrovert do I need to be as well, to really complement the companies but also complement the clients in how do I aid in their success. So an example, in the construction industry, as a construction manager, we are known as a very grindy, straightforward type of industry when it comes in construction. But there are clients in there that you cannot be too much of an extrovert with. And so if you can imagine, if we're working with a group of site contractors, for example, site contractors can be grindy and dirty, and they're very of an extrovert type of individual. But if we're in a meeting and we've got a client who's looking to invest $20-30 million, you have to balance on how aggressive you are in the meetings, how much you put yourself out there, because a client that's got that level or scale of money, they want to understand really the analytical side of things. And I think to do that, you have to be somewhat of an introvert and understanding the analytical side of things, and really understand the client. A lot of clients want to be able to balance those two, but I do think there is a fine line in being too much of an introvert and too much of an extrovert.